All right, welcome to August. I got asked a ton last month, Jeremy, what schedule should I be following to aggressively push my business forward as we get towards the end of the last part of the year? I had an agent that I was working with recently that hadn't done a deal in quite a bit of time. Started working with me and had not one deal, but 2 deals, but 3 deals pretty quick. And the change was adjusting the schedule. But even then, I was asked, hey, even though now I'm starting to close deals, I don't know what to do the rest of the day. So if you're in that position, whether you're doing no deals and you have no idea what to do, or you're doing a handful of deals, but you still don't know what to do to be most productive, well, this is what we're going to talk about today. I just built a new ebook. You're going to want to hang tight and watch where I drop the keyword so that you can get that for free. I've put together a 10-page ebook so that you know exactly what you should be doing every minute of the day so that you can go do 50, 75, 100 homes a year. When I first got into real estate, I had multiple coaches that trained me on this schedule. I kept the schedule, and that's how I was able to sell 75 homes my first year as a realtor. Then fast forward a couple years on the consulting side, that's how I've helped rookies sell 50 plus homes their first year. Other realtors go from 24 to 50 deals. Also, other realtors that were doing quite a bit of business, and then all of a sudden they doubled their production. Why? Because they had a top producer schedule. So let's break it all down today. Let's talk about what you should do in the mornings, in the afternoons, in the evenings, and at nighttime, even on the weekend. You'll walk away from this episode with zero confusion, complete clarity, so you know exactly what to do to go blow up your business. Now, before we get started, disclaimer, if you don't want to do a lot of business, this schedule is probably a little bit too aggressive for you, but take pieces from it and figure out what could I apply that he talks about, comment for the packet, go through the packet, and then if you still don't know what to do, reach out. Give me a call at 702-525-5766. Comment below consultation. I'll do one for you for free so that we can break this apart. That way you know exactly what you need to do every single day to move the needle towards your goals and your vision. All right, so let's break this down. So what you're going to need is grab your business plan. I want you to grab your vision board and then grab your calendar and let's look at all of it, okay? So if you're not following Jesse Itzler, I love that guy. He's got a calendar called the Big Ass Calendar. I just ordered a bunch of these for realtors that I coach that are on the brokerage team and here in town. It's one of my favorite gifts to give out to people. What's cool is this is a brand new one, but what's cool is in the folder, you can have the entire year in front of you. So when you go to look at your calendar, you can see the entire year here in front of you. And you can look at it, okay, here's my goals and my vision for the year. And then what I need to do is I need to break down my schedule. I need to figure out what is it that I need to do every single day in order to hit my goals. And so if you open up to the back, there's a notes section. If you already have this, if not, grab your own notes and let's break this down. So before we do this, let's talk about why this is so important. Why is it that you need to know what a top producer does every day and how to apply it to your schedule, no matter what market you're in? Well, if we look at the data, if you pull up on Google, the article that Inman did on how many deals real estate agents did in 2024, you'll find that 74% of realtors didn't do a single deal all year. And then 2% sold between 11 and 20 deals. And then 0.14% sold 45 or more homes. Reason? It takes a lot of work to go do a lot of business as a real estate agent, whether you're in Canada, the US, or anywhere else in the world. You have to work really hard to go do a lot of business. In order to do that, the path to get there has to be really clear. And that comes down to your daily schedule. Can you know exactly what you need to do? And can you eliminate distractions? So that's what we're going to talk about. I just did a call recently with a realtor that was doing 24 homes a year and had done it 3 years in a row. And they were stuck. So we did a free audit, just like I would do for you. If you reach out to me, put free consultation in the comments and I'll reach out to you, find you on Instagram, get you my phone number, and we can do the same. But as we broke apart his business, we saw that there were a few things on his schedule that were inefficient. He was driving a Ferrari with the brake on. And there's a great book called Reset. I recently did a mastermind in St. George, Utah. I had all the realtors I work with come in and they flew from all over the United States. And we talked about this. You have to get rid of the waste in your business. He had 4 or 5 things that he was doing. We got rid of them after identifying what they were, focused on getting his schedule to be more efficient, and then boom, he took off. He added another 15 deals that year. And then this year, he's on pace to add another 25. So how do we do that? We do that by locking in on your schedule. Also, one of my favorite things to talk about when we explain the top producer's schedule is Alex Hormozi's idea on marketing, on growing a company. He talks a lot about how the biggest issue you have is obscurity. No one knows who you are. So for 4 hours a day, everything you should be doing is going from obscurity to awareness. That's it. Nothing else matters. You need more people to know who you are. So as we talk about the schedule, you'll see that most of your day is designed around not only making sure that you're okay, but making sure that you're getting more exposure in your market. If you follow a lot of the big platforms in real estate, almost everybody will say that 75 to 80% of your day should be on money-making activities. And that's explained as you getting better, following up with your leads, or outbound prospecting and going on appointments. It's essentially what Hormozi's talking about. You need 4 hours a day to go from unknown to known. And so how do you do that? Let's now break that down together. So here on the screen, you're going to see a blank calendar. You're going to see that it starts at 4 a.m. and it ends at 11 p.m. One of the most important things you're going to do is on the top part and on the bottom part is you're going to do what's called bookending your day. If you know Darren Hardy or have read his book, The Compound Effect, he talks about this a lot, that most of the day as a realtor, we can't really control. We can do our best to set up time blocks, but there's so many things that are kind of out of our control with the clients and our family, office staff, and everything else. And so what you do is you bookend your morning with your nighttime. So on your schedule, on your blank calendar you have in front of you, block off those 2 portions. In the morning, I would recommend going and reading Miracle Morning. In there, there's an outline called the Savers Program. It'll tell you what to do to provide clarity, intention, calmness, and focus for your day. You have to know what tasks are the most important and what is your job? What are you trying to accomplish that day? And then at night, you need to audit the day. You need to look back and say, did I move my business forward? Did it go backwards? What were my blessings? And who did I help? And then forecast tomorrow. What do I have coming tomorrow? And then you've got to calm yourself down. If you can bookend your day like that, you'll set yourself up for success. The first part of a top producer schedule is exactly that, bookending their days. Now, if you haven't reached out for either of those free ebooks on morning schedules and nightly schedules, then comment below, morning plan and nightly plan, and we'll make sure that we get those to you so that you can have a more in-depth training on this topic. Next, you got to make sure that you're getting better. Every top producer that I've ever been around or that I've ever coached, that's ever had their business explode after working with me, role plays twice a day. So 2 times on your calendar, you need to role play, whether with somebody else, in a group, in front of the mirror, write out your scripts, whatever you're doing. If you don't have that, then comment role play down below. I have a group that runs $200 a month. We role play twice a day, guaranteed 30 to 40 minutes on objections, scripting, listing presentation, buyer consultations, all of it. But you should be getting better twice a day. Look at this like an athlete. How much time does Steph Curry spend in the gym? What about Kobe Bryant? What about Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, LeBron James, Tiger Woods? Look at this profession the same. You also in your schedule need a 45-minute window sometime in the morning where you can go and study your skill set because you're your greatest asset. This is a skill-based industry. You have to get better. If you're not closing people, it's because your competition's getting better and they're closing everybody that you can't. Now that we have that on the schedule, now we have to look at how are we going to go from unknown to known? How do we go from obscurity to awareness like Alex Hormozi talks about? Well, there's 4 activities that you should be doing in the morning, an hour each. Most top producers are going to start about 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning. When I first got my license, I was in the office at 7:30 in the morning to role play, and then right at 8 o'clock, I started to work. So what you're going to do right out the gate is you're going to call FSBOs and expireds for 1 hour a day. You have to imagine that you're walking in a neighborhood and there's a massive green arrow pointing at a house saying this person is a 10 out of 10, highly motivated, ready to move. You should talk to them. The hardest part about real estate sometimes is finding the people that are actually motivated and ready to move. FSBOs and expireds are ready to move. Why would you not spend time trying to outreach to them so that you can be their agent The only objections you have to overcome are trust and pricing. That's really it. So spend about an hour a day getting better at that. The second is you should reach out to your database. I've got an incredible video on this. I also have a packet that you can buy online if you're on the brokerage team or in coaching. It's free. It's called Exposure. It breaks down how to reach out to your database. If you don't have that packet, go get Alex Hormozi's books, $100 million offer and $100 million leads. He'll break down how to reach out to your database, but you should be doing that for 1 hour a day, period. Most of your database has already worked with you. They know you. You don't have to overcome the trust factor. You just have to get good at asking for referrals. Most realtors never reach out to their past clients or their sphere, and they never get any type of deals or referrals from them, and that's why. The third thing is follow up with investors. If you watched our video from the other day, I talked about how to work with investors. There's 4 or 5 ways to go get more investors. One investor buys 4 or 5 homes a year. If you do 5 of those, that's almost 15 to 20 deals a year, just off of 5 clients. You should be spending time to go and find them and reach out to them. Hey, Jeremy with Real, sorry to bug you. I'll be really quick. I usually don't reach out, but real estate market's crazy. Investors are getting all sorts of deals. If you thought about picking up another investment by the end of the year or doing any type of a 1031 with a property that you already have. Now, if you want more in-depth training, go get that packet on exposure, and then also go back and watch the previous video where I break that down. But you should be doing that for an hour a day. The last thing is follow up with leads. The follow-up percentages in this industry are absolutely ridiculous. Most real estate agents never follow up with leads that they interacted with after the first encounter. It takes about 7 or 8 times of you contacting leads for them to be comfortable and ready for them to work with you. So reach out to them 1 hour a day, and you can reach out to them to see where they're at on their timeline and their motivation. Again, I have another training on this a couple videos back where I broke this down. If you have any questions on this, I actually have a free ebook on follow-up. Comment follow-up in the comments down below and why you want it. I'll get that to you so you can increase the likelihood that not only do you do this activity, but you're efficient with your time. Okay, so now it's about 12:30, 1 o'clock. So what do? Well, you should have just role played, like we mentioned earlier. Now you're going to just take a breather, relax, reset. You should look at your day in 2 halves. You have the morning where you're aggressively doing those 4 activities. And then now we have the afternoon. The afternoon is meant for going on appointments, holding open houses, which in today's market is an incredible way to get buyers, or going and door knocking and talking to people until your business starts to really blow up, go from 5 deals to 10 deals to 15 deals, etc. I had one realtor that I coached, first year realtor, make $100,000 after 6 months of working with me because he was aggressively doing this in the afternoon. So from anywhere from 1 to 4:30, 5 o'clock, that's what you should be doing. Do an open house, go on appointments, go preview homes, or go track down the FSBOs and expireds. Then between 4:30, 5 o'clock, and 7:30, that's prime time. You should go aggressively prospect door to door. Both spouses are coming home. Go and talk to them at their doorstep. People buy from people. That first interaction is so important. Now, once you get home, you've got to do a nightly planning like we mentioned before. You have to brain dump and audit the day. Forecast tomorrow, take a breather, and then relax. Now, one question I get all the time as people want to be a top producer and know the schedule of how to get there is, where does the family come and play? Well, here's what you have to do. You have to talk with your spouse, and you have to have the discussion that you need to grind to go get your business off the ground. Now, that doesn't mean that they get thrown under the bus. Not at all. You need to know what they need while you're grinding. For example, my wife needs a date a week. We do a family morning on Mondays. So I don't do this schedule on Mondays in the morning. And then my kids need my time. So I make sure that I schedule one-on-ones with all my kids. I'm also up with them when they get up and they have breakfast. I also make sure that I read them a book when they go to bed. So you can strategically, aggressively go grind, make sure that your values are also in your schedule, and you can have a really good balance of both. But you have to discuss that with your spouse and your kids. They need to understand why you're working so hard and that there's goals and visions that you're chasing for your family. If you can get everybody on board, this top producer schedule becomes a lot easier than you would think. Now, as we wrap this up, the last thing you have to do is make a list of your distractions. If that were to be your top producer schedule and you were to follow it, and you were to go from 5 deals a year to 15 to 30 to 50 to 75 deals a year, the only way to get there, now that you know how to get there, is to identify your distractions and eliminate them. There's a great quote that I've used often from Alex Ramosi, and he says, "My father used to tell me, a focused fool can accomplish more than a distracted genius." So your most valuable asset isn't your time, it's your attention. A man with time and distractions will always lose to a man with a deadline and a singular focus. It's never been easier to be successful than it is today. It's just always been easier to be distracted. So there you go. There's the top producer schedule. You want to go do a lot of business, do exactly what we talked about in today's video. You'll go from obscurity to awareness really fast. Your business will grow as long as you identify the distractions, get rid of them, and make sure that you're always connected to your holy cause.